Everyone missed you while Brains On was reorganizing. Did you pick up any new skills while you were away?
Oh, that is a great question. And yes, I've been working on a couple new skills while I was away. Hold on. Ta-da! Okay, while I was away, I actually finished writing the third issue of my very seldomly published zine. I have two other issues. It takes me about 7 years to get the inspiration and to get around to writing one. This one is about seeing one of my very favorite punk bands, NoFX. They're terrible. You don't need to listen to them. See them retire and play their retirement shows. And so I was sitting around with a little bit of extra free time, and so I finished inking and writing this whole comic here, and I got it printed up and everything. And I've been giving them out for free. If you want one, just hit me up. The other thing I've been working on, so some of you may know that I'm somewhat of an aspiring magician. And so I started taking some magic classes so I could learn to do things like upgrade from a jack to a queen, just like that. Or maybe even make that queen disappear. Almost. I'm working on it. So yeah, I've been working on some new skills and doing some things while I was away.
What is your greatest hope for kids' podcast listeners?
Ooh, okay. So for listeners, I mean, it vacillates. Like the bigger question. I mean, the bigger part of me, the more magnificent. What is it? What am I for? Benevolence. I don't know. The good side of me says I just really want to, for the listener, I want the listeners to grow up with something that feels handmade, that feels personal and human-centered in a world that increasingly feels less and less so. I want kids' podcasts to be kind of like a little bubble that kids feel like they can enter into, where it's safe to still be goofy, where no one's watching you, where what you're doing is not getting posted. You can laugh at puns or, silly little jokes, or you can kind of let your brain do this sort of imagination stuff that might be cringe in a couple years when you're a teenager, but you still feel safe. I want this to be like an imagination playground. That's what I want for the listeners. The other thing I want for the listeners specifically from my podcast, one of the shows that was a big influence on me was this weirdo show from Nickelodeon in the 90s called Pete and Pete. And I still think of references from it all the time. And I want to do that for our listeners. Like, I want Brains On shows to sort of like be the hands in the wet cement of our listeners' brains, sort of leaving some cool ideas or ways of seeing the world imprinted in their brain, that even when they're in their 40s, 50s, or whatever, they think back and they still think of atoms as talking to each other, or they still picture each drop of rain as like a little paratroopering super spy, that kind of thing. To me, that would be really cool.
You were around for the founding of Kids Listen 10 years ago. Did you expect kids' podcasts to grow in the way that they have over the decade?
It's been 10 years? Are you serious? 10 years? Has it really been 10 years? Jeez. Wow. Did I expect... Yeah, I always expected kids' podcasts to be flourishing. I expected even more by now. I thought they would be like, the equivalent of like Disney's and Netflix's and all these different mega corporations. In some ways, I'm kind of glad that the kids podcast space is still such fertile ground for independent creators. When I started Kids Listen 10 years ago with a bunch of other really smart people, it felt like we were small and somewhat scrappy, and that one of the big thoughts or fears or maybe hopes people had was that the big dogs would come in, the big studios, and they would start making kids podcasts, and maybe we could set the table for the conversation a bit by being here and being active first and sort of talking about these big issues. And in some ways that happened. Some of these places came in and then they backed back out. Some of them are still here, sort of. But what I've noticed is that not only has the world of kids podcasting grown, but it's stayed true to its roots. And it's still kind of DIY and scrappy and run by like people who care a lot. And maybe that's the way it's going to stay. And that makes me really happy.
2 more questions. So this is your penultimate question. Does Sanden Totten ever relax, or is he always looking for the next idea?
I'm not good at relaxing. Recently diagnosed by my wife as an overfunctioner. I am constantly doing stuff. My relaxing involves dishes, vacuuming, picking up stray toys, and occasionally hobbies like writing a comic or learning magic. No, I'm not good at relaxing. But am I always looking for the next big idea? No. I feel like I'm kicking around the same 4 ideas over and over again, just waiting for them to catch on. But one of those ideas is not relaxing. None of them are.
Okay, for the last one, I'm going to give you 3 pairs of words. You give me a split-second gut reaction and say which one of the 2 words you prefer.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Crayons or chalk?
Crayons.
Overalls or top hats?
Top hats.
Bananas or bicycle horns?
Bicycle horns.
Thank you, Sanden.
All right. Thank you.